autumn night. Moon is bright red and shiny. Lotus flowers are blooming. Krishna starts to play flute in the Brindavan. When the young women of Brindavana heard Krishna's flute song, which arouses romantic feelings, their minds were captivated by the Lord. Some of the gopis were milking cows when they heard Krishna's flute. They stopped milking and went off to meet him. Some gopis were boiling the milk on the stove. They left milk curdling on the stove. Some gopis were making rotis, baking cakes, and they all left rotis and cakes burning in the oven. Some gopis were getting dressed. Some gopis were feeding milk to their infants. Some gopis were serving food to their husbands, but they all gave up these duties and went to meet Krishna. Some gopis were eating their evening meals. Some gopis were washing themselves. Some gopis were putting on cosmetics or applying kajala to their eyes. But all the gopis stopped these activities at once, and though their clothes and ornaments were in complete disarray, rushed off to Krishna. Their husbands, fathers, brothers and other relatives tried to stop them, but gopis were so enchanted by the sound of his flute, they refused to turn back. Some of the gopis, however, could not manage to get out of their houses, and instead they remained home with eyes closed, meditating upon him in pure love. Seeing that the girls of Vraja had arrived, Lord Krishna greeted them with charming words that bewildered their minds.
O most fortunate ladies, welcome. What may I do to please you? Is everything well in Vraja? Please tell me the reason for your coming here. This night is quite frightening and frightening creatures are lurking about. Return to Vraja, splendid wasted girls. This is not a proper place for women. Not finding you at home and your mothers, fathers, sons, brothers and husbands are certainly searching for you. Don't cause anxiety for your family members. Now you have seen this Vrindavana forest full of flowers and resplendent with the light of the full moon. You have seen the beauty of the trees and their leaves trembling in the gentle breeze coming from the Yamuna. So now, go back to the coward village. Don't delay. O chaste ladies, serve your husbands and give milk to your crying babies and calves. I know you have come here with great love for me, but it's your highest duty to serve your husbands, babies and families. Leaving your husbands to come to me would be condemned as adulterous affairs are always condemned. Such women are barred from heaven as well.
During all this while, listening to his words, gopis are actually becoming sadder and sadder, angrier and angrier also. Their heads hanging down and their heavy, sorrowful breathing drying up their reddened lips. The gopis scratched the ground with their toes. Tears flowed from their eyes, carrying their kajala and washing away the vermilion smeared on their breasts. Thus they stood silently bearing the burden of their unhappiness. O all-powerful one, you should not speak in this cruel way. Do not reject us, who have renounced all material enjoyment to render devotional service to your lotus feet. Reciprocate with us, O stubborn one.
Our dear Krishna, as an expert in religion, you have advised us that the proper religious duty for women is to faithfully serve their husbands, children, and other relatives. We agree that this principle is valid, but actually, this service should be rendered to you. After all, O Lord, you are the dearmost friend of all embodied soul. You are their most intimate relative.
What use do we have for this husband, children, and relatives of ours who simply give us the trouble? Therefore, O Supreme Controller, grant us your mercy. O lotus-eyed one, please do not cut down our long-cherished hope to have your association.
Until today, our minds were absorbed in household affairs, but you easily stole both our minds and our hands away from our housework. Now, we won't move one step away from your lotus feet. How can we go back to Vraja? What would we do there?
Dear Krishna, please pour the nectar of your lips upon the fire within our hearts, a fire you ignited with your smile glances and the sweet song of your flute.
If you do not, we will consign our bodies to the fire of separation from you. Please show us mercy. To approach your lotus feet, we abandoned our families and homes, and we have no desire other than to serve you. Our hearts are burning with intense desires generated by your beautiful smiling glances. O jewel among men, please make us your maid servants. Dear Krishna, what woman in all the three worlds wouldn't deviate from religious behavior when bewildered by the sweet, drawn-out melody of your flute?
Sri Krishna went with the gopis to the bank of the Yamuna, where the sand was cooling and the wind enlivened by the river's waves bore the fragrance of lotuses. There Krishna threw his arms around the gopis and embraced them.
धीरसमीरे यमुना तीरे वसति वने वनमाली धीरसमीरे यमुना
Thank you, Mathaji. That was a scintillating performance. Agree, everyone? You took us to Vrajdham, took us to Vrindavan. Thank you so much. Thank you all. All the performers did a wonderful performance. It was, short notice. They really did a great job. They live in all different parts of Hyderabad, and despite that, they did some online meetings and online practice, and I think they just did 1 or 2 physical performances. So all glories to the team leaders, Sundari Mathaji, Suma Mathaji, each and every performer did a wonderful job. Thank you very much. Suma Mathaji, Sundari Mathaji, please. So this is Suma Mathaji and Sundari Mathaji. They are the leaders for this drama. So wonderful, Mathaji, so wonderful.